Welcome to Recruiting Conversations with me, Bill Humbert, the leading talent attraction consultant. Last time we talked about how the recruiting process and the sales process mirror each other step by step. And did you notice something? I left out one step, and I did it intentionally. And the reason I did it is because most companies leave it out also. And that's not a good thing. Are you having a difficult time finding candidates who are talented and yet fit your culture? That's a common complaint that I get over all these years. I've been doing this since 1981. And over the years, companies have begun to drop the one key step that identifies whether a person's a good fit culturally or not. It began mostly probably in the 90s. And I've heard people, and they've come to me and they said, we can't find the person who's a good cultural fit. And I say to them, well, there's an easy way to determine that. What's that? I said, reference checks. Oh, no. We don't do reference checks. Why don't you do reference checks? Because our attorney informed us that if we did reference checks, we could get sued. Yeah, you could. But I've got some bad news for you. Every single thing a company does can get them sued. Everything. You mess up the service, you mess up the product, you're going to get sued. If your managers aren't efficient and aren't trained how to manage people, you're going to get sued. If they're not trained how to properly interview candidates, you're going to get sued. It's a matter of training, folks. You can do this. Now, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on this today because we only have about another 4 minutes talk about the reference check. And so the step that I skipped was due diligence. And due diligence includes a background investigation, and it includes a drug test, and then it also includes a reference check. Now, in your organization, since recruiting mirrors the sales process, is HR responsible for recruiting? HR is a great organization in a company. They have lots of responsibilities: benefits, compensation, culture, company get-togethers, the list goes on and on and on. Employee development, employee relations. And when you look at that list of all the other responsibilities of HR, and they are important, do you hire administrative and compliance folks to do those jobs? And the answer is probably. They're the ones that are going to do it the best. Well, if recruiting mirrors the sales process, how many people in your organization are sales professionals enough that you will put them in front of your customers? Most times, zero. So, we can have some fun with this. Let's say you look at the last reference check your company did. And I'm willing to bet they called another HR department and said, did Bill Humbert work for you as a sales manager? And that company said, we're not allowed to do that. We can't give references. Was Bill Humbert working from you from March of 2020 to December of 2022? Yes. Is he eligible for rehire? Oh, we can't tell you that. Well, if that's your company with those responses, you don't deserve to get a valid reference check done. It's crazy, isn't it? But what's good for the goose is good for the gander. It's pretty simple stuff. And it's important to understand the importance of reference checks, because that is the one step that determines whether that person is a team player or a sole contributor. What does your team need? Does it need a team player? Or does it need somebody who technically is very advanced and is a sole contributor and really not so much a team player? Now, the other bad news is the manager knows what they need. Human resources doesn't. And, we've talked about all the things that HR does that's important, but they're not living inside that group of direct reports for that manager. Only the manager is. And those people report to the manager. And it's important to make sure that we get the right person in that position to make your company more productive and more profitable. So my next time, what I'll do is I'll give you some questions that I ask on every reference check that I do, and they really dive in to, is this person a right fit for our culture? So until next time, which will be later on this week, I'll give you some questions that you can ask that are legitimate questions and help you decide whether this person is the right person for you. Have a wonderful day.